Hello everyone, today we're doing an Xbox 360 Trinity mod using the RGH3 method using a PicoFlasher. I found this Xbox in a not working or for parts section of a used book and record store and ended up buying it for $6. And I inspected this thing and the seal wasn't broken and it just seemed to be dusty and missing a cover for the HDD slot, as well as the front panel for the CD drive. So I said, okay, maybe it's just dust or a blown capacitor or a bug shorting two sections together. And I opened it up and there was very little dust. Everything looked good, as you can see. And I plugged it up and it worked just fine. So I decided to make this tutorial for anyone with this kind of motherboard. And I'm going to be using the Xbox 360 hub as a guide, and shout out to all of the Xbox 360 modding community developers for these methods, as I imagine it was years of work to develop these methods, and I'm merely giving that attention and sharing it with you all today. My Pi Pico is already loaded up with the PicoFlasher firmware, but the wires are for the Corona motherboard, so I'm going to redo the wires for you all. But at this point, just make sure that it's already flashed with the Pi Pico firmware. I'm going to take this away for better work area. So the first time I tried this on my Corona board, I used solid core wire, but do not, I repeat, do not do that. The traces and vias you'll be soldering to are very small and very sensitive, so if you use solid core wires, it's more likely you'll end up snagging and pulling up a trace. I did this with my Corona board and I had to find a PCB layout and had to do some reverse engineering to figure out where else I could attach my wires. Save yourself the time, get some stranded wire that's very small, like 28 or 30 AWG, because it's thin and flexible. I'm going to go ahead and follow that guide, and I'm going to put the corresponding wires on the PicoFlasher. Also, if you have one of those cheapo soldering irons, make sure to keep the temperature down. Now, using the diagram, I'm going to attach the wires from the PicoFlasher onto this section of the motherboard. Make sure to keep your flux on you because it'll come in handy, if not all the time, when soldering. Alright, so everything looks good. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna flip it, and we're gonna take a look at the back. Just to confirm the location of where the post point is, it's gonna be right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. I'm just gonna mark that for you, make it a little bit easy, a little arrow. And we'll take a look and find the SMC post. So, around this area, by one of the holes, you can see there is a resistor R3, R22, and it's going to be that specific point there. And I'll go ahead and mark that for you, just circle it. So for your PLL bypass point, you want to look for C5R35, and it's going to be one of these points here. We're going to have to scrape at it. Here's the point marked. Just make sure not to cut the trace that's right next to that via. And when looking for the SMC PLL point, that's going to be closest to the Microsoft logo towards the bottom. And here it is. It's going to be right here, that spot marked as FT2V1. I'm going to solder the post point here, and this wire doesn't need a resistor on it, but that's not going to be, kind of got a little bit stuck on there. Gonna have to go back and clean that. I'm gonna use a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Gotta keep it nice and clean. So we're gonna connect that wire to this point that we saw, the SMC post. And you don't have to worry about adding a resistor or anything to this wire. That's not going to be the case for the PLL point, so we're gonna add a resistor to that. Tugging just to make sure also. So here is my resistor. It's a 10K resistor. Now we're gonna look back at that point, if I can find it. Aha, there it is. And I'm going to be using my blade here to basically scrape away at that trace, but just be very careful if you're following along, and make sure that you don't scrape up the trace or the via. I'm going to keep it clean, and that's what you want. You want to see it be a little bit shiny, but also you don't want to damage it. So I'm gonna secure this with some electric tape. What's better is if you have some heat resistant tape, but this is all I have for right now. And to the other side of this resistor wire, we're gonna attach to the SMC PLL. This one's considerably more easy to attach to just because it already has a little bit of solder on it, so. And that's not going anywhere. This is all of the soldering that we have to do, and now we go on to open up JRunner. So now that we've put all of the finishing touches on the board that needs to be done, make sure that there are no loose pieces of metal or anything, and that the board and soldering joints are clean. And now that everything's done and clean, we're gonna go ahead, open up JRunner here, which you can already see on the screen. And the Xbox 360 at this point needs power to transmit data to the PicoFlasher, so you got to make sure that that's plugged in. And of course the PicoFlasher also needs to be plugged in. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug in the Pico now. There we go. And you can see that the JRunner with Extras program opens up the PicoFlasher on there, so you know that it's working and you've properly flashed the Pi Pico. Since this is up and running, we're gonna go ahead and read the NAND. Click on that, and it says console not found. I could have sworn that my soldering joints were good, but I'm gonna double check it here just in case that's affecting. So thank you to the forum people, because I figured out there's a specific way that you need to turn all of this on to get it working. You need to have the passive power first on the motherboard, and then you load up JRunner, and then after that you can plug in your Pi PicoFlasher. So now let's see if it works. Yep. And now go ahead, check console type. And from there you can see that it's working now. You can see Jasper Trinity, 16 megabytes, and yeah, so it's working after that. And now you want to read NAND. You'll know that it's done successfully because there's gonna be like this success sound from RuneScape or whatever it is. For our next step, you're going to go to the side, click glitch 2, and then RGH3. And it's gonna automatically detect the frequency that you're running. So mine's gonna be 27 megahertz. And from here, you can go ahead and create XeLL. So click on that. And we're gonna go ahead and click write XeLL. And we have an exception. So if you see this, you're gonna want to restart your program. Okay, we're gonna try it again and write XeLL. So I ended up restarting the thing, but it didn't work. I restarted JRunner, but it didn't work. So what I ended up doing was switching the Pi PicoFlasher from a USB 2.0 and then putting it into a 3.0 for that extra needed power. So splooge cam. We're gonna give it an X for Xbox. I'm gonna go ahead and attach the cooler to this, and yes, I am using that El Cheapo thermal paste here, but I wanted to put the cooler on before I went ahead and turned this thing on, because that's what we're gonna be doing next. I'm gonna go ahead, get my X here, snap on the back clamp. You want to go ahead and plug everything in. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the HDMI so you can see what I see. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And we'll see if it boots up. There we go. Oh. Aha! Okay, that's just the HDMI cable. But you can see that it's now doing its thing. You got XeLL reloaded. It's going to try some network things, but I don't have this attached to any LAN cable or anything, so it's not gonna actually get one. What we're looking for here is going to be the CPU key, which you can see there, right above the DVD key. So take a picture of that and we'll go on to the next step. So you want to connect your Pi PicoFlasher now, and you're gonna take the CPU key that you saw in XeLL Reloaded and input it into that section. Now click Create XeBuild. And that's not supposed to happen. So I'm starting to think that it's the 10K resistor that I had, because the forum people say, oh, sometimes it doesn't work. So we'll try a 3K resistor instead. So what I did for my SMC, PLL, and PLL bypass connector with the 10K ohm resistor is I replaced it with a 3K, but that didn't work. So what we're instead gonna do is we're going to go over here and create a donor NAND instead. This has something to do with a corrupted NAND file or something like that. So click next. You're gonna see your CPU key. We don't have a kv, so we're gonna have to click donor key vault. Click next. And over here, you're gonna click on donor SMC config, make sure that that's toggled, and LDV is going to remain 0. So next, just double check you have glitch 2, RGH3, LDV 0, everything's right, finish. And now we have a new NAND file, so we've got that. And everything looks good. NAND initialization is finished. We're gonna repeat that process now, and you're gonna go here, go to, I believe it's Create XeLL. So go ahead, click on that. All right, XeLL image created. Write the XeLL, That's gonna take a little bit, but now that it's done, we're gonna go ahead and create XeBuild. So everything looks right. And it's good. Yep. I think I might have just done that again by accident, but go ahead, write NAND. And that should be the final step to applying this glitch. So write is successful, and that's about everything to it. So now you're going to disconnect your Pi PicoFlasher so that it's not receiving any more power. And we're gonna go ahead and turn on the Xbox. Oh, okay, we have Xbox 360, that's a good sign. I did basically factory reset the Xbox, so we're gonna have to go through the initial setup for this. Since I know that it's working, I'm going to go ahead attach an HDD to it, and hopefully we can get Aurora working on this thing. Aurora, by the way, is a dashboard, which is, of course, modded. Not the standard dashboard. And let me just go and get this. It's a little bit grimy, but... I'm also going to go ahead and put the fan back on. Here's a flash drive with Aurora and some other things on it. And we're going to boot this baby back up. So far so good. Nothing crazy happening. Nice stable Xbox 360 title. That's weird. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look. We're gonna go into system, into storage. And it might just be a problem with my HDD, to be honest with you. So one thing about this HDD that I think is the problem is it basically slipped and fell onto concrete. So it definitely is probably this this drive, but I'm gonna end up switching it with something else that I know works. So I'm gonna swap it for a drive that already has Aurora dashboard installed on it. I'm gonna go ahead and boot it up. And there you go. So we have Aurora dashboard on here. We didn't install it in this video, but you can see it's properly working on our Trinity motherboard. And yeah, now I definitely know that it's a problem with the other hard drive that I put into this thing. So you can see it right here. Yeah. I mean, it looks fine, but that impact was pretty bad, so. And there you go, everything's up and running and functional. We have Aurora dashboard on our Trinity motherboard. And if you guys found this video helpful, please leave a like, subscribe for more of this kind of content. I'm thinking about gaming videos, but also probably not. I'm probably going to keep the channel primarily for electronics and modding projects, but I have a lot of those, and I'm thinking that that's going to be a little bit more interesting, keep the niche in that genre. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, let me know. If you're having any troubleshooting problems, then take a look in the link in the description. I'm going to leave a link to the Xbox 360 Hub Community Discord, as well as the guide that I found online for it. Those people are really helpful. Shout out to them again, because I didn't develop this. I just want to showcase it to everybody. This is a really cool way to bring life back into old electronics. So yeah, hope this was helpful. I'll see you all in the next one. So bye.